Greetings everyone, my name is Altarian and welcome back to another wonderful episode, my friends. We left off where Saito suddenly had a seizure. Saito stopped suddenly, his face twisted in pain. Saito, what's wrong? I ran to him as he leaned heavily against a nearby tree, his fingers digging into the bark. His teeth grounded aggressively and his breath was tangled. As I watched, he began to sweat. My stomach pinched and realized what it was. Is it blood? Do you want blood? Give him blood. Drink, my friend. Drink. Medicine is last resort. When he loses something, I don't know, when he loses his shit, then we give him blood. Saito, please drink my blood. I don't need it. It will pass. However, Saito's face warped in pain and his forehead was covered with thick beads of sweat. It made it even worse. That even more clear that he was craving blood. Please, it will be fine. There was no point in arguing. I unsheathed my sword and I slid the cold edge against my finger, feeling a burn as the flesh split open. Give that to me. No, if you don't, you'll... I was sure he simply meant to take the sword away from me. I'll cut. Give it to me. It wasn't what I expected to hear. He took hold of my kodachi and stepped closer. I could hear his breath rattling in his chest. The blade pressed against my ear. He must have wanted to cut where it would be barely visible. I felt a spark of pain as it broke the skin. Then his face moved so close to mine. Vampires! I could feel his breath on my ear. His lips pressing against my skin. I shivered as his breath touched my ears. Saito stopped and pulled away. Does it hurt? His voice was barely above a whisper, but it sounded loud in my ear. I'm fine. I just tickled a little bit. He seemed relieved to hear that, and I felt his tongue touch my ear once again. As he's sipping the blood that was dripping from my ear. As he drank, Saito breathing eased, and his shaking began to subside. After some time, he slowly stepped back. I apologize. His face was still pale, but at least the color was beginning to return. Don't worry about it. This will heal up in no time. Drinking blood from the person you're supposed to protect. The cart before the horse, huh? He gave a short bark of laughter. No, it's not like that. I mean, if you think about it, it's my fault you became a fury in the first place. No, that is not true. If I had been strong enough to defeat Kazama, then this would have never happened. He stood there silently for a moment. His back to me. We should go. The rest of the men will be getting up soon. I nodded back to Saito and returned to our camp. The next day, our march continued on, and finally we arrived in Kofu. However, who would have guessed that Kofu Castle was overrun by those imperial bastards a while ago? Well, there were probably a ton of ways to haul ass and get there faster than we did. If only if someone hadn't taken a sweet ass to party up out there. Stop it, Shinpachi. It's impossible to guess how quickly the enemy would have arrived here. To make it worse, many of the new recruits got wind of this, and they fled throughout the night. Whoa. If my knowledge is correct, then I believe we may have only 100 men left. 100! I thought we had 200 men coming out of Edo. So you're saying more than half of them fled our campsite? Everyone stood stunned in quiet registration. As a creeping dread got the better of me, I looked over at Saito to whisper to him. Saito, what does that mean for us? Are we going to plan an attack to take over the castle? Saito's voice barely hovered over a murmur. as that the other warriors wouldn't hear him.
それはおそらく無理だ。
I assume it to be unlikely.
城を攻めるには少なく見積もっても相手の3倍の兵力がいる。
Attacking a castle of this fortitude would require triple the force of our opponents.
確実な勝利を目指すならば10倍の兵が必要だ。
If victory is to be assured, then we would need 10 times as many.
しかもこれは双方の武器が互角の場合。
And that is assuming that both sides were armed equally.
鳥羽伏見で戦った薩長軍のような新型の兵器を持った敵を相手にするのなら
Opposing foes such as
さらに多くの
Satsuma
人員が必要だろう。
and Shosu means inviting the risk of their advanced weaponry, which in turn means we need more men as well. Then, when I turned to look at the men in discussion, each captain had their gaze fixed on Kondo to await his feedback. Kondo, however, uttered a surprising declaration.
撤退はしない。要所に布陣し、敵の出方を待つ。
There will be no retreat. Each of our divisions will be stationed at the crucial points and await my command.
なんだって。
What?
お上から支度金をいただいて出陣したのだぞ。
We are marching under the funding of Okami.
このまま退却しては、我々を信頼してくださった幕臣の方々に顔向けできん。
If we retreat without putting up a fight, how are we to face the Bakushin who placed their trust into us?
諸君らは武士ではないのか。今こそ慶喜公に我々の忠義を示す絶好の機会なのだぞ。
All of you cut yourself warriors, do you not? This is the perfect opportunity for us to show our loyalty to Lord Yoshinobu. The crowd of freshly recruited soldiers roared in unison as Kodo roused them accordingly.
さすが近藤局長、武士の鏡です。
You're amazing, Chief Kondo, so
我々
inspiring.
にお任せください。
Give it to us. We'll do anything we
最
can
新ご講義のために尽くす所存です。
to serve the shogunate.
おい近藤さん、勇ましいのは結構だけどよ、少しは現実ってもんを見てくれよ。
Hey Kondo, I think it's great and all that you want to be a big leader now, but do us a favor and open your eyes, man.
向こうがどんだけの軍勢で来てんのかわかんねえけど、城を取られてる時点でこっちが圧倒的に不利なんだぜ。
I don't know what exactly you've got in there as military force, but at the moment they took the castle was the moment the battle was over.
長倉君、君は勝てる勝負しかしないつもりかね。その腰に刺しているものは一体何だ。
Nagakura, are you saying that the only battles you intend to fight on are the ones victory is assured? What is that thing on your hips for then?
俺は戦うのが怖えわけじゃねえよ。
I'm not saying I'm afraid to fight.
勝つ見込みがまるでねえ勝負に命なんて張らねえって言ってるだけだ。
I'm only saying that there's no need to risk my life when there's hardly any chance to win. The tension became thick in the air, and I was worrying that the situation could escalate into violence before Hijikata chimed in.
落ち着け新八。
Calm down,
こ
Shinpachi.
の後合流する予定の部隊があるんだ。江戸に待機してるから、俺が今から呼びに行ってくる。
Reinforcements are set to meet us soon. As for now, they're standing by in Edo, and I'm going to send a message to them now.
それに敵側も、まだ俺たちの正体には気づいてねえはずだ。
And besides, I'm sure those Imperials have no idea what we've got up our
こっ
sleeves.
ちから仕掛けねえ限り、戦になることはねえ。
Should everything go as planned, including not being rash idiots, we'll be okay.
だからあと少しだけ辛抱してくれ。
So I need to be patient for a little while. Nagakure angrily slammed his fist on the ground.
わかったよ。
Fine.
あんたにそこまで言われちゃ仕方ねえよな。
If it's coming from you, I guess I'll keep my mouth shut. Afterwards, Hijikata departed swiftly, making his way back to Edo. Thankfully, the Imperial forces made no attempt to attack us, instead keeping themselves safely fortified within the walls of Kofu Castle. If battle were to ensue, then I was sure that we would have been killed easily, like a wave crashing into the shore before reinforcements could arrive. Although our men were intently patrolling the surrounding areas of our camp, we had just above 100 men in our ranks, which would do little to save off an actual attack. Then I saw Saito, who appeared a tad meek. Are you alright, Saito? Your skin is so pale.
兵器だ。
I'm fine. The color had so thoroughly drained from his skin that I was sure he was soon to faint. Well, you don't look fine. Why don't you take a breather?
他の場所ならいざ知らず。近いうちに戦場となる場所で休めるはずがなかろう。
Perhaps if our location, if our circumstances were different. How may I rest knowing that a location is soon to become a battlefield? Well, I suppose. The afternoon sun was blaring in the sky, radiating so intensely my skin felt like I was peeling off. Normally, even walking under the sun would have been overwhelming to Saito. However, if war were to break out, the hair on my arm stood at the thought. Just then,
敵兵がこちらに向かってきます。
the enemy troops are heading this way, sir!
なんだ
What?
俺たちの正体に気づきやがったか
Someone found us!
数はどれくらいいる
How many of them did you see?
10人ほどです。
About
お
10!
そらく石膏部隊と思われます。
Scouts, if I'm not mistaken, sir.
こっちに向かってきやがるぜ。幸い銃は持ってねえみてえだな。
They're coming for us, luckily. It looks like they don't have any guns. What? Are these the enemies? Are these... They have red eyes.
しょうがねえ応戦するか
I guess it's time to fight him. Nagakura unsheathed his sword, and Harada fenched his spear, both of them readying themselves into offensive stance. The Imperial soldiers unsheathed their swords in return, and they sprinted toward us, but
甘いんだよ
too weak! With one quick movement, Nagakura swung his sword, slicing against the abdomen of the incoming soldiers, spilling pins of thick blood against the dirt floor. Nagakura aimed through the tip of his blade to the sternum of the soldier, driving his sword into him with intense force as the soldier coughed up blood. Without another word, the soldier fell limply to the floor.
よし一丁上がりっと
Alright, that's one. Just as Nagakura barked confidently in laughter. That's what I thought, they're all demons. The Imperial soldier, who had presumed to be dead on the floor, laughed eerily. Then, he leaped up, jumping high above Nagakura's body in the air. The soldier took one sword and swung down.
なんだって
What the? As he bared the approaching katana, Nagakura screamed out in disbelief.
一体どうなってやがるんだ
What the hell is going on
致
here?
命傷を負わせたはずなのに生き返ったってことは
I was sure he
それ
was
はまさ
dead,
か
but now he's alive, which only means... That's why they're demons. Just then the eyes of this enemy soldier flashed in a bright shade of crimson.
これは羅刹か。だが何故新政府軍が羅刹を。
Is this a fury? But how could the Imperial Army have access to the Fury Serum?
どうなってやがるんだ。羅刹は夜しか動けねえはずだろ。
Damn it, just what the hell is going on? I thought Furies could only battle at night. Oh shit. One after another, each of the scouts' troops had their eyes and hair turned red and white respectively.
おのれ化け物どもめ
Damn you monsters, stay back! This is a slaughter. Despite their best efforts, our new warriors were all powerless against Furies, lacking the know-how and skill necessary to tackle these beasts. Help me, someone! There was simply no match, and the Furies slaughtered each of our men without remorse. These Furies came out of nowhere. How could they be here? No, it couldn't be.
素晴らしい成果だ
Experiments. Quite wonderful display.
この日が来るのを
I've been waiting for this moment for some time.
私の可愛い子供たちが白日のもと力を存分に発揮してくれる日
My
を
wonderful creations are able to prove that they are able to capable that they were capable under broad daylight. My worst fears were realizing as Father appeared from behind the tall tree. Father seemed to be entranced as he gazed at each fury maliciously acting under the light of the sun. His eyes gleamed with madness, but he smiled. Amagiri, who had been standing beside him, however, had a bitter expression as he watched the visceral battle take place.
どれだけ似せたところでこんなもの所詮は我らのまがいものに過ぎる
No matter how much you tinker with them to make them seem like real demons, at the end of the day, they're still fakes.
日の光を恐れぬようになったとはいえおぞましき本質が変わるわけではない
Indeed.
偽りは偽りよ
They may no longer fear the sunlight, but their nature can never change. A fake is a fake is a fake. There is no substitute.
お言葉ですが何が本物で何が偽物かを決めるのもまた
Pardon me,
曖昧な基準に過ぎません
but there is a very fine line that determines what you may consider real to what is a
少
fake.
なくとも彼らは この日の本を我が物顔で闊歩する人間どもよりは強い。
At the very least, they're stronger than any of the humans they're stuttering about.
無理の真実。
Strength is an undeniable truth.
彼らさえいれば、旧幕府軍も新政府軍も、いえ、この国を狙う西洋諸国さえ敵ではありません。
As long as we have these furies, neither the shogunate nor the emperor, no, not even the West, could take this country as much as they wish it to be true.
この国を狙う者たちを全て滅ぼした後は、再び我ら鬼の時代がやってくるのです。
After we destroy every outsider seeking to control this country, the era of the demon will come once more. Amagari winced at my father's words as he were smiling something foul. Smelling something
お
foul.
ぞましき戦いよ。
A hideous fight.
ここまで強さを冒涜する者を今まで目にしたことがない。
I have never in all my years witnessed such an ignorant disrespect of power. He sighed, closing his eyes in resignation.
くそ
God damn it!
こいつらどんだけ切り刻めば死にやがるんだ。
How many times am I supposed to hack these guys down before they die for good?
普通の人間ならとっくにナマスになっててもおかしくねえ頃なのにな。
Ah, normal
頭に
humans
来るぜ。
would have fallen over it a while ago. This is getting to be a pain in the ass. Their battle is going to be a pain. Both Nagakura and Harada panted heavily, sweat glistening all over their bodies as they continued to slice and weave through the flurry of furies. However, instead of dying, each fury simply rose back up and their wounds healed as expected. As the fatigue began to set in, the furies approached us menacingly, licking their lips as they stared us down. One of the furies made an attempt to grab my arm. Ah! Saito unsheathed his sword hastily, swinging without a second thought at the incoming fury. Much to our dismay, however, he rose. The fury's slashed wounds healed itself as he stood up and dusted himself off as if nothing had happened.
やれやれ、このままじゃキリがねえな。じわじわ体力を削られて全滅するのを待つだけだ。
There's no end to them. It's only a matter of time until we will run out of stamina, and then we're dead meat.
とはいえ全滅ってのは響きが良くねえな。
Ah, man, dying would be a real
って
drag.
ことで斉藤、事前の手はず通りよろしく頼むぜ。
That's it, Saito. Time to go with what we discussed.
承知した。
Understood. What we discussed?
雪村、あんたは俺と共に来い。
Yukimura, come with me.
もしもの時は二人で先に逃げるよう土方さんに言われている。
During an emergency, Hijikata had ensured that we escaped first. But that's not right. We're leaving the other warriors so that we could escape.
あんたがここにいても足手まといにしかならん。いいから来い。
You're only going to serve as a distraction for them. So just come with me.
おいおい、もうちょっと言い方考えてやらって。
Jeez, man, isn't there a nicer way to put that?
そういうところとことん気が利かねえのな。
Think a little before you speak. You really suck at it.
俺たちのことは心配しなくていいぜ。
Don't worry about us.
分かってんだろ。俺たちがめちゃくちゃ強いってこと。
I mean, don't you know we're strong as hell? Harada, Nagakura. I was flustered with guilt, but there was nothing I could do myself to help them, even if I stayed here. I quickly bowed to the two of them, and Saito yanked my arm and we sprinted away together. Oh no, we're not going to see what's going to happen with the battle.
羅刹になった身で日の光の下を歩くのは途方もない苦痛を伴うはず。
It should be extremely painful for him to be walking under the sun.
あの男を突き動かしている者は
What is it
一
that
体何だ。
moves that man?
意地か名誉かはたまた。
Could this be pride? Fame, or could it be?
お前たち、あの娘を追いなさい。傷を負わせずに生け捕りにするの
After
だ。
that girl! Be sure not to injure her, but bring her back alive! My father shrieked his order loudly, which caused the gang of Nibra Furies to scream in response before running after us. Saito's hair turned white, the color of a fury. Saito, no! You can't use your fury powers when the sun is still out!
今はそんなことを言っている場合ではあるまい。
Now is not the time to worry about that. Saito maneuvered through the furies with precision, coldly slashing at each fury until they fell definitely. A lengthy chill shivered through my body. He is strong. Without any wasted movement, Saito sliced into each of the Furies with vital points with a godly display of technique. And they keep on coming. 4. That's 12 men that he got already. With each wave of his sword, however, came the splattery of fury blood all over his porcelain face. To avoid the stinging scent of blood, Saito tried to cover his mouth and nose all at once with his arm. Then he looked down, his face becoming more pale. At any moment he could set to collapse. Saito! As I watched these events unfold, I sheepishly called out to him. Saito shut his eyes tightly, wiped the blood from his face with his sleeve repeatedly.
すまない。
Sorry,
急がねばな。
we must hurry. Are you okay? He had transformed into a fury form, and so much blood has splattered on him. Even I could recognize that Saito was showing an incredible amount of discipline on restraint that I couldn't possibly thought of.
大事ない。
Worry not. He hoped to confront me, but he was obviously that he was feigning toughness for my sake. With that, I helped him walk forwards. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Suddenly I saw a group of Furies gathered around us. The mastermind behind this whole plot was...
千鶴、お前はそんなに聞き分けがない娘だったのか。
Chizuru, since when have you been such a stubborn child? Father stared back at me with that dejected expression, as I knew my rebellion came as somewhat a shock to him. Despite knowing he was no longer the father I knew, the man who had raised me, seeing the pain in his eyes made my heart heavy.
私はお前がまだ小さな頃からお前の幸せだけを望んでいたという
Ever since you were a little girl, I had wished for nothing more than your happiness.
さあ、こっちへ来なさい。そんな羅刹のことなど放っておいて。
Enough of this. Come to me. Leave that fury be, my child. Father's hands, which had fondly patted my hand when I was a child, reached out towards me.
行くな。
No,
罠だ。
don't go, it's a trap. Saito spoke between stained breaths. Father, answer me. What is this happiness that you'd wish for with me? I wasn't sure which father I was speaking to. The only way I know to ask. Father, in turn, offered a maniacal smile.
様々の妻となり、純潔の鬼の子をたくさん産んでもらうことに決まっているじゃない。
You are to become a Lord's Kazuma wife, and you will bred pure-blooded demon children. It is obvious, is it not?
私はそのために、そのためだけにお前を育ててきたのだから。
In order to prepare for this, I spent many years raising you for this very purpose. It was strange to think. A voice that had given me so much comfort in the past was now the bearer of news I'd wish I'd never hear in the world. I had already known this to be true, but hearing it aloud was like spitting open an old scar in the depths of my heart. To Father, my only worth came from the fact that I could bear Kazuma demon children. Hot tears began to flow uncontrollably from my eyes. I'm sorry, Father. I'm a horrible child, but I can't just make your wish come true. Father's face instantly warped in response. In fact, it was almost unrecognizable. Then...
羅刹ども、そこの女を捕まえなさい。
Furies!
そして、
Capture that
風間
woman!
様へと献上するのです。
Bring her to the Lord Kazuma! Father barked his command towards the Furies with glaring eyes, and like corpses they dragged their feet to turn around their faces. However, the white-haired beasts screeched harshly in unison at once. They began to charge towards us. Suddenly, Saito drew his blade without a sound, and he lunged forward to slay each of the Furies with ease.
泣くのは後にしろ。今は逃げることが先決だ。
Save your tears first. We need to pray, and we need... Oh fuck. Save your tears. First, it is necessary that we prioritize our escape. Saito grabbed hold of my hand. With his left hand, he held his sword, and as we fled, desperately he swung his ravenous monsters. I could hear flesh being split, the curdle of blood as it dripped on the floor, and his metallic stench thereafter. Saito found himself completely covered in blood, but even so, it did not stop him. I tightly gripped his hand and pulled him back. With whatever strength he had left muster, Saito and I ran into the direction of Ido. That's quite intense. Quite intense. I believe this is far enough. Did the siege stop? Saito looked over his shoulder, making sure there were no furies in sight, and after a moment he nodded, and we came to a stop after his confirmation. Okay. I found myself out of breath, and it was difficult to speak running at full strength for so long. Ooh, guys, my head even got a little bit dizzy. I was really into the moment. Wow. Ooh, wow. Apologies. I was still holding your hand. Then Saito gently let go of my hand. His breath were staggered, and he wiped his sweat-covered forehead repeatedly. Saito, are you okay? We must hurry. The power of the Furies is nearly endless, and it would be unwise for us to let down our guard until we reach Ido. But by now the blood had almost completely left Saito's face, and he could have collapsed at any moment. In addition to the beating heat of the sun, he was drenched in blood from his hand off with the Furies. Standing alone, let alone sprinting all the way to Ido, must have been excruciating. I said, grab onto me, let's rest a little. Oh, no, go back. Grab onto me, let's rest. Grab onto me, what does it mean grab onto me? Drink. Resting? Drinking. Resting is bad, we will die, and he will faint. Grab onto me. Saito, I'll lend you my shoulder, grab onto me. I could see the perplexion of Saito's eyes as I made my suggestion. Do not worry. I appreciate the consideration, however. Normally, I would have listened to Saito and have been down with it. But you don't look alright, you're pale. Actually, it looks like you're ready to faint. Stop thinking about my sake for a second. Lean on me, please. Saito, it seemed, was unkeen to oblige my request. Although he was panting in front of me, his hands on his knees, he was still attempting to act off. I told you I'm fine. Well, like I told you, you don't look fine. Please, just listen to me for one. Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Why do you insist so much about worrying about me? I do not understand you. Because that day during the battle of Tobafushi, if Saito hadn't been with me, then we wouldn't have had to fight Kazuma. Even in Ido, it was my behavior that caused Saito to endure a highly dangerous situation. And today, because of the Furies that were made by my father, many of our own men were endlessly slaughtered. Time and time again, Saito had risked his body to protect me from harm. It has frustrated me that there was nothing I could say nor do to assist him in this dire time. If I could have anticipated that this was going to happen, then I should have left everyone. No, Saito, all too sooner. Sorrow had burrowed itself deep into my heart, and from the sorrow came tears of shame. Why are you crying now? Why are you crying now? Are you bothered by the words that Kado had said earlier? I do not think Kodo was acting like himself earlier, for whatever it's worth. He spoke to you as if you were not his daughter, which could only mean the serum has tainted his mind. Just because he is no longer sane does not undo the years and months he had spent raising you. It's not that. I'm not crying because of my father. Then why? I knew that I had to answer him, but try as I might, the tears were unstoppable, and my mouth quivered as I tried to speak. We must make haste, or we will not be able to reach Ido by nightfall. Hurry and dry your tears. I'm sorry.
それは何に対する謝罪だ。あんたに詫びられる覚えなどないが。
For what are you apologizing? I do not recall having anything that needed to be apologizing for. I tried wiping my eyes repeatedly with the sleeves of my kimono, but it was a futile effort. It's because it's my fault you've become a fury. I mean, even today, look at what my father did to all those warriors. I'm so sorry, Saito. I had a feeling that saying this would make only cause Saito even more strife but conflict, but even so, I knew it was important to express myself. I borrowed a boat over and over again in shame. But then, with an albeit awkward moment, Saito drew me in closer to him, and my face was pressed against his warm, comfortable chest.
泣きやめと言っているのが聞こえるのか。
I said, "Stop crying. Did you not hear me?" His voice tickled my ear softly. There was no harshness or coldness in it. Rather, it was soothing, as if Saito sought to comfort a crying child.
あんたは先ほど、行動さんや新型の羅刹の襲撃を受けたのは
You
自分
think
の
that
せ
it
いだ
is
と
your
言
fault
ってい
that
た。
Kado developed this new type of furies to attack us,
あ
but
んたを体内に留め置くことに決めたのは
It
我
is-
々だ。
it is we who decided that it is best for you to accompany us on our march.
戦の最中、鬼との戦闘になることは副長も想定していたはず。
I am pretty sure that the
あ
commander
んたのせいではない。
had anticipated the conflict with the Furies during the battles, so it is not all your fault. As I listened intently to Saito's kind words, a different kind of tears altogether began to flow uncontrollably. How could Saito be so gentle, so kind, despite having all these injustices occur to him? He had experienced far more harrowing experiences than I ever had. Hadn't life beaten him down enough to begin looking for something else to blame, like me? I felt the same thing when we returned to the Shinsengumi from the Guardian of the Imperial Tomb. Misinformed soldiers who knew nothing of his character talked behind his back, but he preserved and faced. Saito possessed such strength, and yet he was so thoughtful and compassionate.
あいにく俺は泣いている女の慰め方など知ら
Unfortunately, I know very little ways to aid a woman who has been driven to tears.
涙を流したとてしてやれることなど何一つない。
Even if you require a form of consolation from me, there is really nothing I can offer you. I'm sorry. I apologize once more, still keeping my face buried deep in his chest as his tears struck to his clothing. I couldn't help
だから
myself.
詫びられる筋合いなどないと言っている。
Like I said, there is no reason for you to lend me your apology. Saito continued to sympathize with me, although it was his typical flat stoic manner. Even so, he remained beside me, embracing me tightly and giving me support in my time of need. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And with this beautiful, guys, we are going to end this episode. This is a very nice point to wrap up. I love this story. It's really, really beautiful, guys. As always, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this story with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, and I will see you next episode, guys. Have a good day, everyone.